My best friend spent my $84,000 on a salon with her name in gold letters, then told everyone I had given it to her as a pity gift. I found out standing in the rain outside the storefront, watching her cut a ribbon while my checking account sat almost empty and my landlord's late notice curled on my kitchen table. She saw me through the glass, smiled like I was a stranger, and kept posing for pictures. 3 months earlier, that woman was practically my sister. My name is Elena Ramirez. I'm 34, a project manager for a construction firm in Denver, Colorado, and I'm the kind of person who labels pantry shelves and keeps receipts in color-coded folders. My best friend, Vanessa Cole, was 35, loud, magnetic, and always smelled like vanilla lotion and expensive shampoo even when she claimed she was broke. We met at the University of Colorado in 2008, 2 girls crying in the laundry room because both our red shirts had turned our white towels pink. After that, we were inseparable. She stood next to me when my father passed in 2019. I spent 3 weekends helping her move out of her apartment in Aurora after her engagement ended in 2021. She knew my bank passwords were written in a notebook inside my desk, not because she ever needed them, but because she was the person I called when life felt too heavy. By January of last year, I had saved $112,600. It wasn't glamorous money. It was 10 years of packed lunches, used furniture, holiday bonuses, and driving a 12-year-old Honda Civic with a heater that smelled faintly like dust. I was saving for a townhouse in Lakewood. Vanessa knew that. She used to tease me, saying, "Elena, you're going to buy a house before you buy a decent couch." Then on February 9th, she called me at 6:12 in the morning. Her voice was thin and shaky. "Elena," she whispered, "I need help. I don't know who else to call." I sat up so fast my blanket slid to the floor. The apartment was dark, my phone glowing blue against my face, and I could hear her breathing like she'd been running. She told me her late mother's house in Pueblo was about to be lost over a tax lien and emergency repairs. She said she needed $84,000 for 60 days, maybe less, until the sale closed. She even sent me a PDF with a buyer's letterhead and a closing date of April 14th. "I swear on my mom," she said. "You'll get every cent back, plus $5,000 for helping me." I remember the smell of burnt coffee in my kitchen that morning. I remember my hands sweating around the mug. I remember thinking that if I said no, I'd be the reason she lost the last piece of her mother. So I said yes. We signed a simple loan agreement at a UPS store on Colfax Avenue on February 10th. Vanessa wore a cream coat and cried while signing. The notary, a tired man named Albert, stamped the papers while a printer squealed behind us. She hugged me so tight my ribs ached. "You saved me," she said into my shoulder. For the first month, everything seemed fine. She texted me little updates. "Inspector came today. Buyer asked for roof credits. Closing still on track." On March 1st, she came over with Thai food from my favorite place and a candle that smelled like cedar. We ate on my old gray couch, watching renovation shows and laughing when one couple argued over drawer handles. But then the red flags came, small enough that I stepped right over them. On March 12th, I asked if she could send me the title company contact. She replied 6 hours later, "They're being annoying. I'll send tomorrow." Tomorrow never came. On March 18th, she canceled brunch because she had paperwork in Pueblo, but her tagged location on Instagram showed her at a boutique in Cherry Creek. I stared at the screen while my microwave hummed, telling myself maybe the location was wrong. On March 25th, I saw a $742 charge on Venmo from her to someone named Mila Designs with a scissors emoji. I asked, "Salon stuff?" because Vanessa had dreamed for years about opening a beauty studio. She wrote back, "Helping my cousin." Long story. Then April 14th passed with no wire, no call, no explanation. I texted, "Hey, closing today, right? Just checking in." 3 dots appeared. Disappeared. Appeared again. Nothing. By April 17th, my stomach felt like a fist. Her phone went straight to voicemail. My messages turned green. Her Instagram vanished from my account, but when I used my coworker Priya's phone at lunch, Vanessa's page was still there, bright and smiling. She blocked you? Priya asked quietly. The office lights buzzed overhead. My sandwich sat untouched, the bread going dry around the edges. No, I said, though my throat already knew the truth. There has to be a reason. The reason found me on April 22nd. It was a cold Saturday, the kind of spring morning Denver gives you just to remind you winter still owns the keys. I was driving home from Target when I took a wrong turn near South Broadway and saw a white storefront with gold lettering across the window. Vanessa Cole Beauty House. My foot pressed the brake so hard the reusable bag slid off the passenger seat. A jar of pasta sauce rolled onto the floor with a dull thump. There were balloons by the door. A photographer crouched near the sidewalk. Women in pastel coats stood under umbrellas, clapping. Through the glass, Vanessa stood in the center of it all wearing a blush pink pantsuit, her hair glossy, her smile wide enough to split the room. My heart started pounding in my ears. I parked halfway crooked and stepped out into the rain. Cold drops hit my face and ran down my neck. My hand shook so badly I had to grip the parking meter. Then I saw the framed sign on an easel by the entrance, Grand Opening Celebration, Founder Vanessa Cole. Founder. I pushed through the door. The salon smelled like fresh paint, flowers, and lemon cleaner. Soft music played from hidden speakers. Vanessa turned, and for 1 second her smile cracked. Elena, she said, too brightly. What are you doing here? I looked around at the marble reception desk, the velvet chairs, the wall of mirrors shining under warm lights. Where is my money? My voice came out flat, almost calm. Her eyes darted to the photographer, then to a tall man beside her I recognized as her new fiancé, Grant Ellis. This isn't the time, she whispered. You borrowed $84,000 from me for your mother's house. Grant stepped forward, his jaw tight. Vanessa said that was a gift. The room went silent so fast I could hear rain ticking against the front window. My mouth went dry. A gift? Vanessa's face hardened. You told me you wanted to help me start over. I signed a loan agreement with you, I said. She leaned closer, her perfume sweet and sharp. Lower your voice, Elena. You're embarrassing yourself. That sentence did something to me. Not anger yet. Not even grief. It was like the floor dropped and left my body standing there without bones. I walked out before I collapsed in front of her new mirrors. The real devastation came later that night, when I sat at my kitchen table with every document spread out under the yellow light. My fingers were numb. The apartment smelled like rain-soaked wool because I had never taken off my coat. I called the title company listed on the PDF Vanessa sent me. A woman named Denise answered. I'm calling about the closing for 1448, Mesa Ridge Lane in Pueblo, I said. Vanessa Cole's property. There was a pause, paper rustling. Ma'am, Denise said carefully, that property closed on January 31st. My skin went cold. January? I whispered. Are you sure? Yes. Sold for $312,000. Funds disbursed February 2nd. February 2nd. 8 days before Vanessa cried in the UPS store. I thanked Denise, hung up, and sat there listening to my refrigerator hum. The sound seemed enormous. My hands began to tremble, not delicate trembling, but hard shaking that made the papers whisper against the table. Then I checked county records online. There it was. Sale recorded. Vanessa had received over $120,000 after liens and fees. She never needed my money, But it got worse. The next morning, Priya came over with coffee and her laptop. She had that tight, careful look people get when they're about to show you something painful. "Elena," she said, "you need to breathe before you look at this." She opened the website for Vanessa Cole Beauty House. On the Our Story page, there was a paragraph that made my vision blur. Funded by a generous founding gift from longtime friend and mentor Elena Ramirez. Mentor. Gift. Below it was a scanned letter with my name typed at the bottom. It stated that I had freely gifted Vanessa $84,000 with no expectation of repayment. The signature looked like mine. It wasn't. My stomach lurched. She forged me. Priya covered her mouth. There's more. Vanessa had used that fake gift letter to secure a $46,000 equipment lease. My name wasn't a co-signer, thank goodness, but my supposed gift made her look financially stable. Then Priya found photos from a private Facebook group I couldn't access. Vanessa had been telling our mutual friends that I was jealous, unstable, and trying to take credit for her success. One comment from Vanessa burned itself into my brain: "Some people help you just so they can own you later." I stared at it until the words doubled. Then came the second twist. Grant Ellis, Vanessa's fiancé, worked as a loan processor at a local credit union. The fake gift letter used formatting from his employer's internal templates. He hadn't just believed her story. He had helped build it. For 2 weeks after that, I barely functioned. I called in sick twice, which I never do. My manager, Tom, left a voicemail saying, "Take the time you need," and I cried because kindness felt unbearable. At night, I lay awake staring at the ceiling fan, watching shadows spin like dark water. 3 in the morning became a place I lived. My chest felt hollow, and food tasted like cardboard. I lost 9 pounds by the end of May. My jeans hung loose, but I didn't feel lighter. I felt erased. The worst part wasn't the money, though the money mattered. It was remembering every soft moment and wondering when she had stopped being my friend. Had she already planned it when she hugged me at the UPS store? When she brought Thai food? When she called me family? One night I played her old voicemails just to hear who she used to be. "Hey, Lena, pick up. I'm outside your building with donuts." I pressed the phone to my chest and sobbed without sound, because even my grief felt humiliating. The turning point came on May 31st at a mutual friend's birthday dinner. I wasn't invited, but Priya was. She sent me a screenshot from Vanessa's story, Vanessa and Grant laughing under string lights, her left hand raised to show a diamond ring, captioned, "Protected my peace and finally winning." Protected her peace. I sat on my kitchen floor, the tile cold through my leggings, and felt something in me lock into place. Priya called a minute later. "Don't let her rewrite your life," she said. "If she wants a story, give her the truth with receipts." I wiped my face with my sleeve. My hands were steady for the first time in weeks. "Okay," I said. "Then we do this properly." The next morning, I hired attorney Marisol Vega, a civil litigator in downtown Denver with silver glasses and a voice calm enough to stop a fire alarm. Her office smelled like paper, peppermint tea, and expensive carpet. She read the loan agreement, the bank wire confirmation, the texts, the fake gift letter, and the screenshots. She didn't gasp. She just clicked her pen once. "This is not a misunderstanding," Marisol said. "This is a pattern." I felt my throat tighten. "Can I get it back?" "We're going to try," she said. "But more importantly, we're going to make lying expensive." Those words became my rope. Marisol had me write a timeline down to the minute. February 9th call. February 10th wire. March 12th delay. April 22nd salon opening. We pulled county records proving the house sold before Vanessa asked for help. The UPS store notary gave us a copy of his log. My bank provided the wire memo, loan to V. Colper signed agreement. Then Marisol suggested the trap. We send a letter, she said, sliding a draft across the conference table. Not accusing. Asking her to confirm her position. The letter stated that Vanessa had publicly described the $84,000 as a gift and requested she sign a notarized statement confirming that claim for tax and accounting clarity. If she signed, she would contradict the loan agreement and create another piece of evidence. If she refused, that helped too. Vanessa signed. Not only signed. She had it notarized by Grant's coworker. When Marisol called me, I was in my car outside a grocery store, the smell of cilantro and warm asphalt drifting through the open window. She took the bait, Marisol said. I closed my eyes. What happens now? Now we file. The lawsuit landed on June 19, breach of contract, fraud, unjust enrichment, and civil forgery claims. Marisol also sent evidence packets to the equipment leasing company and to the Denver Women Founders Alliance, because Vanessa was a finalist for their $25,000 small business grant. That last part mattered. Vanessa had built her entire new identity on being a self-made founder. We didn't post online. We didn't scream. We didn't threaten. We simply sent documents to people who had been handed lies. The execution almost fell apart on July 7. Vanessa's attorney claimed the loan agreement was emotionally coerced and that I had changed my mind after seeing Vanessa succeed. I read that sentence in Marisol's office and felt heat crawl up my neck. She's still doing it, I said. Marisol tapped the signed gift statement. Let her. Then the equipment leasing company requested a recorded statement from me. My voice shook through the first two questions. I could hear Grant in my head saying, Vanessa said that was a gift. The investigator asked, did you authorize your name or signature on the gift letter used in Ms. Cole's financing file? No, I said. My palm was damp around the phone. I did not. Did you intend the $84,000 to be repaid? Yes. We signed a loan agreement. I wired it as a loan. A week later, the leasing company froze Vanessa's equipment account pending review. The Founders Alliance postponed the grant announcement. And Marisol subpoenaed Grant's work emails. That was the near miss. Grant had deleted messages. But he forgot the credit union archived everything. On August 3, Marisol called me into her office. She placed 3 printed emails in front of me. Grant had sent Vanessa a template titled Gift Letter Draft. In another email, Vanessa wrote, make it sound like Elena wanted to support me, not like I owe her. Grant replied, use the scanned signature from the lease reference file. My ears rang. The room smelled like toner and peppermint, and suddenly I could barely breathe. Marisol said softly, Elena, this is the part where people like them usually start looking for a door. The confrontation happened at mediation on August 28, in a beige conference room with a fake plant in the corner and coffee that tasted like wet cardboard. Vanessa arrived wearing a white blazer, gold hoops, and the same vanilla perfume that used to mean comfort to me. Grant sat beside her, staring at the table. Her attorney shuffled papers like the sound could protect them. For the first hour, Vanessa wouldn't look at me. Then the mediator asked her to explain her position. Vanessa folded her hands. Elena offered me the money because she believed in me. After my salon got attention, she became resentful. My fingers curled under the table. My nails pressed into my palms. Marisol slid the emails across the table. The room went still. Vanessa's attorney read them first. His face changed slowly, like a light dimming. Grant whispered, Vanessa. She turned on him. Don't. I looked at her then. Really looked. Her lipstick was perfect, but the skin around her mouth was tight. For the first time in months, she looked afraid. Marisol said, "We also have the county sale record, the notarized loan agreement, the false gift statement, and verification from the equipment lessor that the forged letter was submitted in Ms. Cole's financing package." The mediator cleared his throat. "Ms. Cole, this is serious." Vanessa finally looked at me. "Why are you doing this?" she asked, her voice small and sharp at the same time. The question almost made me laugh. Instead, I felt something heavy settle inside me. "Because you took my money," I said. "Then you took my name. Then you tried to take my reputation." Her eyes filled, but no tears fell. I was desperate. "No," I said, my voice trembling but clear. "You were prepared." That was the moment Justice walked into the room, not loudly, not dramatically, but with a folder full of proof. By the end of mediation, Vanessa agreed to a structured repayment of $101,500, the original $84,000, my legal fees, and additional damages. She had to sign a sworn statement admitting the money was a loan and that the gift letter was not authorized by me. The equipment company terminated her lease. Without the styling stations and chairs, the salon closed in October. The Founders Alliance removed her from consideration and quietly notified several local business groups. Grant lost his job at the credit union after their internal review. Vanessa's engagement ended by Christmas, according to someone who thought I wanted the update. I didn't, but I listened anyway, standing in my kitchen while soup simmered and steam fogged the window. The first repayment arrived on September 15, $20,000 wired from the sale of her car. I stared at the bank notification until my eyes stung. Priya hugged me when I told her. "You won," she said. I nodded, but victory didn't feel like fireworks. It felt like setting down a heavy box after carrying it for miles. Relief, yes. Satisfaction, absolutely. But my arms still hurt. Over the next year, Vanessa paid most of what she owed. I recovered enough to buy a smaller townhouse in Wheat Ridge, not the Lakewood one I wanted, but it has morning light in the kitchen and a little balcony where I grow basil. I changed my passwords. I locked my documents. I stopped being the person who assumes history equals safety. Mutual friends apologized. Some cried. A few admitted they had believed her because her version was easier. "I should have called you," one said. "Yes," I answered. "You should have." I didn't say it to hurt her. I said it because truth deserves a place at the table too. Vanessa emailed me once, on the anniversary of the wire transfer. The subject line was "I'm sorry." I opened it at 11:43 p.m., my house quiet except for the soft hum of the refrigerator. She wrote that she had panicked, that success had felt impossible, that one lie became 10. She said she missed me. I read it twice. Then I archived it without replying. There are betrayals that break your heart because you lose a person. There are others that break something deeper because you lose the version of yourself who believed love made people honest. I got my money back. I cleared my name. Vanessa faced consequences she never thought would reach her. That matters. I won't pretend it doesn't. But sometimes, when I pass a salon window and smell vanilla lotion drifting out onto the sidewalk, I still think of two girls in a college laundry room laughing over pink towels. I wonder when my best friend disappeared, and whether she left slowly,